Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. This is Friday. It's May the 23rd. It's a Friday going into Memorial Day weekend, and really since 9 o'clock this morning, right in here, this was the last of the movement. A little after 9 o'clock, we haven't done anything. And I saw one trade in here, maybe two. I don't even know if I like this one. I'd probably have to make this one green. Should be green. And I don't even know if I like it. I put it on there after the fact. If I'd been watching that live, I doubt I'd have taken it because I sat through this for a little bit. I meant to already be done and be out of here to start my holiday, but I had some interruptions, and so I'm just now getting to do the chart lesson. But I've been done trading for a while, so I didn't do very well today. Didn't make a lot of money. There just wasn't a chance to make a lot of money. If you didn't catch some of this early move, then there wasn't much happening. So I didn't meet my target today, and I made a little mistake and um, I normally always start my computer or my Ninja Trader in live mode. And we talked about this the other day about somebody trading and they thought they were um, making money and they come to find out they were in sim mode. Well, I did that on my first two trades I took this morning. I was in sim mode. And one of them, I made a little mistake and probably would have lost money. Um, because even though the trade would have ended up working out if I'd have hung on to it, um, I would have lost money if I hadn't realized I was in sim mode. So I actually thought I'd lost money on that trade, and then I went to look and I hadn't made any money or lost any money because I was in sim mode. But I recently got a new computer, and when I reset up NinjaTrader, because I've been doing some things in simulation mode as far as trying to demonstrate some trade. I just left it that way, but I'm going to go back and change it because I'm not making that mistake again. So you can set your NinjaTrader to open in sim mode, global simulation, or you can set it to open live. I'm going back to set mine open and live because I don't want to make that mistake again. So, but anyway, I'm going to talk about the trades. This is going to be a really quick chart lesson. I'm going to start my holiday early, get out of here again. I'm probably going to be doing that a lot during the summer. Um, what else? No chart lesson Monday. I'm going to enjoy my vacation day. This is a job, and when you get a day off, how many people like to go to their jobs on their day off? Not many I know. And if I am going to go to a job on my day off, it'd probably be as a trader because I love what I do, and that's why I keep doing this. But when you get a day off, you need to take it because you'll come back refreshed. You'll come back with a different frame of mind, and there won't. It'll probably be like this. You never know. You could get a huge movement on a holiday, but my guess is going to be something like this right here, especially with us being so close to 1900. Uh, who knows? Maybe they'll use the holiday short hours to run it to finally get it to 1900. We're trying to get up there now. We might get up there today before it's over, but I'm guessing that we need to we need to make another leg down here. Um, but we could go higher from here. There's no reason to go short yet. You can't go short in here, so that's why this one's really circled in green. Notice that we had this move up, the break, and then one leg pull back two legs. If you measure those two legs, they're pretty close to being a measured leg. And when I say two legs, I'm talking about from the break high to this correction to the next high. And but let's talk about the trades real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. This one was real iffy. This really looks like a range day. It's two legs up, and then you figure you'll get two legs down. And there is a failed second entry long right there. You can't go long on this one because of all that overlap and that. I mean, this really looked like a nice second entry short. It's if you were trading then, I guess you could have gone short right there, but it's so big you want to use a limit order, and you would have got filled. It would have worked out, uh, but that was like at 5 o'clock or something. So I don't know if any of them. Doesn't mean there wasn't somebody somewhere that watches our videos may not have been trading. So if you did go short there, you just have to keep your stop above the signal bar, which is up here, and that is a legitimate second entry short there. So It broke out the top and then went, but it didn't quite break out the low. So when it broke lower, you'd want to, try to get further back up here with a limit order if you took that short. Um, but then you had a failed second entry long, but I don't think you can go long right there because by that time now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a trap, but again, if you're going to go long, you got to do it way down here, and by the time that sets up, I just think you'd be crazy to go. I just don't see a reason to go long that close to the high on what looks like a two-leg move up already. You got to be thinking short right in here. And so when it broke higher and turned down, now you got a trap. So when it broke out of here, it's a short trap. Again, it's kind of, there's a lot of overlap right there. So there's a chance it can just break a tick or two and then turn right back up. So I think it's real aggressive. I think if it did, what you need to do is wait on it to break and then try to get a limit order in here. And but even if you use a stop there, it would have worked. There is the trap. So if you saw the trap and you use a stop and you got, you would have gotten out. It's okay. And then we just kind of went back in this stuff. Well, actually, there's the long right here. When it broke lower and turned back up off this, notice you got the 1, 2. You got a double bottom, and then you tested it once, twice. And look at that reversal bar. Again, you probably want to use a limit order on a bar like that, bouncing off a triple bottom. You may not get a chance with a limit order, but I think you had to use one at least at the high there, wait for it to break higher, drop a limit order, and you see it came back and filled it, and then when it went right where you thought it would, back to the highs. And then you make a new high, you get a first entry, you make a double top, you get a second entry long right there, but don't be going long there because now, look at it, it looks like this over here. There's a good chance it'll repeat, and it turns down, but notice that's only a first entry short. Even though you got a second entry long, there's been only one move down and then a pullback, and so that's like a first entry short right there. Counting off the lows. This low is swing low is lower than that one, so pullback first entry. You don't get a second entry until here, and you don't want to be going short there. But this is what I want to talk about. This is the kind of trade that will make your day, and you'll see this over and over. What they do is you look at all those matching lows, and it breaks lower by one tick and reverses. That's how they love to do that. You'll see that over, and this is very similar right here. This is almost a repeat pattern, except it's slower and it doesn't break the one tick lower, but it's the same thing really. And man, you'll see these trades over and over. I show them all the time and talk about them. And you should have had your line off the top, and I really thought this was the channel and we had a break and maybe a new high at first, but you want to drag it down to these closes, and when it bounces there again, regardless of whether you see the channel or not, you got to take that long on that little failed break lower, knowing you're coming back up here to test these highs, but there's a chance you're going to get another big move up. You got one leg up, so you might get a measured move similar to it, and off it goes. And then I like this one because notice the new low, first entry, and some people would like to take that second entry long, but with it being close to those highs from yesterday, I think it was too risky. But when it turns down again, notice the new low, pull back first entry, it goes higher, you get a failed second entry short. I love those. You're not back to the high of this thing. You can kind of see the range now. You should have it in place, and this, if you didn't get in there, you definitely, when it tried to go lower, this is like a two legs down right here again. And look at that inside bar, and it breaks lower and turns out and goes out the other side. You're not back to this upper side. There's definitely a nice trap, and it actually goes much higher. And then it got slow. And you know what's coming. It's a holiday type day. You know what's probably coming, and so then it gets real slow. And notice this here, there's a failed second entry short right here, but look what you got to do. You got to get long at the highs when you're coming. You've already had a little overshoot of the channel, so you can't go long right there. If anything, you might have thought about going short when it failed out higher, but there's been no break of the channel, so you'd be counter trend trading going short right there, so you don't want to enter there. And you can't enter back down here. We bounce off the midline, and this is like a little two-legged move back. But notice all those bounces, and this is almost a repeat pattern of this. Um, so I like this for a long. I'd use a limit order here, and you see if you didn't get filled before it went higher, I wouldn't have waited. If by the time it went this high and pulled back, I wouldn't have jumped in then, although it would have worked. I don't think it was worthwhile. Then you get a failed second entry short here, but you're one tick from the high. Notice how this overshot the channel. This just touched the channel. This came up short, and even this last push higher, it came up short. That's telling you that the buyers are losing momentum. And you can see that's just a little weak, choppy, rangy looking. Even though the bias is up, you can't be going long here. You got to get long at the lows, and you don't really get a chance. And then we finally get the failed break higher out of the little two-tiered range. So an aggressive guy, noticing that we're losing momentum here, might take that short. Looking at it after the fact, it's obvious. But if, I wasn't watching the chart when this happened, and if I'd have seen that in real time, that's what you would be looking at. I just don't know if I'd have taken that or not. I know there are aggressive traders that would take that, and I know there's a lot of you that think you're aggressive traders that just are counter trend traders that would have taken probably every one of these shorts, and you probably would have exited right here, finally given up, only to see it finally get some movement. So I just don't think I'm going to leave it green because I know there's some, there's people that like that. I mean, it's a trading range and it's a failed break, but the bias is up, so it could easily pull back and turn, just like it did on this little range. It broke higher, went a little lower, pulled back and bounced, and then went higher. So you got to be real, real careful. You're better off not to counter trend trade because, I mean, this is what happens. You get trapped, and you don't want that to happen to you. So, and there ain't anything else happened since then. It's just bouncing up and down. And I circled this one because the fact that you're coming off the high of the range, and even though there's a good chance that prices may try to go the other side, and usually they will, you can see we're still trying to get to the other side and haven't got there yet, and it's gone a lot higher. So you can't enter in that. And I just don't think there's any shorts until maybe there. And I was looking at this one after the fact because I was doing something else and wasn't watching the chart when this set up. So when I came back, this was already in place. And if you look at it like that, it looks totally different. And so I doubt I would have taken that trade. It's a nice reversal, failed break higher, but you don't know that it doesn't tick one tick lower and then push on up because you hadn't got to that upper side, and it could get there. But you can see the momentum waning, but it's much easier to see it after the fact than it is when all that's going on in real time. So, but that's what I saw today. No shorts except maybe that one, the real aggressive one, and of course this early one when this looked like a trading range. And this is why you wait on second entries. I mean, if you'd have gone short right there, it might have worked. Let me just see if that would have worked. That's the first entry at that top of that range. You would have gotten in at 92 and a quarter, and it went to 91. So yeah, but you would have had to ride that up and down, up and down, up and down. Of course, you could have got out with a couple of ticks and not tried to get your 4 ticks too. So, but by the time the second entry came, obviously it never triggered. You can see that right there. And then you get the trap and a chance to go again. And you can't go below that bar even with a trap really, especially with everything kind of trying to close above the EMA and this thing pointing up right there. You got to wait on a better bar, which doesn't come to here. And then remember, you don't want to be going short at the lows. You got to get in up here on this range. And then look again, you got another first entry after a little break higher, and it fails. That's why the upward bias, you just can't. You want to be more apt to buy than sell a range if the bias is up. Now, if we were in a big downtrend, had been downtrending forever, it'd be just the opposite. You'd be more apt to sell than buy. But that's not the case. The bias is up, and so you got to be careful selling the lows of congestion or trading ranges or whatever. And that's about it for today. So hope you have a great holiday weekend. Remember, no chart lesson on our midday chart on Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday, and we should be back to regular. I will say one other thing I'd like to share with you. There is a new that lesson that I promised. It actually posted last night, and in my rush or yesterday afternoon, I set it to. Uh, in my haste to get out of here yesterday afternoon, I put the wrong video on the lesson. So if any of you saw it, I know I got at least one comment and maybe one email. So maybe a lot of you hadn't even seen it yet, but it's there now. It does have the proper video with it, and I apologize for screwing that up, but I think it's a really good lesson and pull some pieces together. So make sure you see that one, and I'm going to call it a day. Um, so this is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll be back Tuesday, so we'll see you then.